Hello everyone, we are Group 8. Our group members are Abhijit, Bhanvi Mahavar, Samrat Kaur, Nikhil Kumar, and Nyonika Kaur. Today we will discuss the Finding Future, a comparison between crowdsourcing and Delphi technique, and see how both help managers make predictions when reliable data is missing or uncertain. Managers often need to forecast the future, but not every situation has enough historical or quantitative data. Traditionally, forecasting tools like time series analysis, regression methods depends heavily on past data. However, when the data is unavailable or uncertain, decision makers turn on judgment based forecasting methods. Here, two such popular approaches are used. First is Delphi techniques, which relies on expert opinions, and second is crowdsourcing, which draws insights from a large group of non-experts. Both aim to generate reliable predictions when method fails. The main purpose of our study is to compare Delphi technique and crowdsourcing as tools for prediction. It helps managers decide first whether they should use these qualitative forecasting methods and second which one is more suitable for their specific context. Essentially, this comparison acts as a decision support tool for choosing between expert based and crowd based forecasting. The Delphi technique is named after the ancient Greek oracle of Delphi, known for its wisdom and foresight. It was developed by the RAND Corporation in the 1950s to estimate Soviet nuclear capabilities. This method used a structured communication process involving a panel of experts who repeatedly give their opinions through multiple rounds, like 3 to 5 rounds, until a common consensus is reached. Here, how it works, let's check it out. Select, firstly, we select 10 to 18 experts in the relevant field, conduct multiple rounds of questionnaires, then, after each round, summarize and share anonymously feedback. Continues the process until opinion coverage, usually after 3 to 5 rounds. This idea is to combine expert knowledge systematically and remove bias through iteration. According to the Linston and Terhoff in 1975, the Delphi method helps a group of individuals address complex problems collectively. Its goal is to achieve a reliable consensus in a situation where factual data does not exist. The strength of the Delphi technique lies in how it helps experts move from diverse opinions to a well informed shared conclusion. It encourages reflection after seeing the group feedback. Each expert can revise their judgment, leading to a balanced research backed outcome. Thank you. The Delphi method has been widely applied in various fields. First, in information systems, used to identify key information system issues. Second, in marketing, applied it to study distribution challenges among B2B marketers using a third round Delphi study. Third one, in human resources, used it to forecast labor requirements. From these examples, we can see that Delphi is particularly effective for issue prioritization, consensus forecasting, and trend identification. Now, moving on to crowdsourcing. It refers to obtaining ideas, services, or content by asking a large group of people instead of relying on experts or traditional employees. This process is usually done via the internet, allowing for fast and low cost results. It essentially means outsourcing tasks to the crowd or a broad audience to get innovative solution or decisions. A classic example can be seen in the TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When contestants ask the audience, their collective responses are often surprisingly accurate. The power behind crowdsourcing comes from the concept known as the wisdom of the crowds. The idea suggests that individual opinions contain both real knowledge and random errors. But when you combine many independent opinions, the random error cancel out, leaving only the true underlying knowledge. With the growth of the internet and social media, it's now easier and faster than ever to tap into a global pool of people for ideas, problem solving, and forecasting. So, while Delphi used structured expert consensus, crowdsourcing harnesses collective intelligence from ordinary individuals. Both can reveal valuable insights in different ways.
Crowdsourcing has evolved into four major types, as identified by Prapich and colleagues in 2015. Number one, crowd voting. Asking a crowd to choose between alternatives like Toyota's pre naming campaign, which received 1.8 million votes. Number two, ideal crowdsourcing, which is inviting creative ideas. For example, Lego's ideas where fans submit and vote on a new type of design. Third, microtasking, breaking a large project into smaller tasks. For example, Amazon Mechanical Turk is a great example where users are paid to perform small labeling or classification tasks. Number four, solution crowdsourcing, which is inviting solution into complex problems such as Netflix's algorithm challenge or HeroX innovation contest. These types demonstrate the flexibility of crowdsourcing. It can be used for innovation, decision making, forecasting, and even creative branding. Now let's compare the two methods directly. We'll be comparing them with respect to various aspects, namely participants, group size, feedback, data quality, anonymity, duration, and motivation. Essentially, Delphi provides a depth of insight from a few experts, while crowdsourcing provides breadth of ideas from many people. As Flostron in 2017 summarizes, Delphi focuses on accuracy and expertise, whereas crowdsourcing focuses on diversity and volume.
So, this slide highlights the major similarities between the Delphi technique and crowdsourcing. First, both methods maintain anonymity among participants, which helps reduce social pressure or groupthink, meaning no one's opinion is influenced by other. Second, both involves incentives. Third, both are cost efficient alternatives. Fourth, both methods emphasize impartiality and objectivity. And finally, neither method guarantees statistical reliability checks like quantitative models do. Instead, their strength lies in the structure of the process itself, such as control feedbacks or aggregated judgment. So, in short, both techniques share a common foundation of anonymity, motivation, cost efficiency, and unbiased insights, making them valuable tools for research based decision making. Moving on to the next slide, this slide explains how managers can decide which method to use, Delphi, crowdsourcing, or neither. The first step is to clearly define the question to be addressed. Based on that, a manager has four options. They can use neither Delphi nor crowdsourcing, or only can use Delphi, or only can use crowdsourcing, or combine both the approaches. The choice depends on two key factors: whether the problem requires expertise or whether it benefits from diversity of opinion. If the issue is complex and highly technical, Delphi works best because it relies on expert judgment. If the problem is more about gathering varied perspectives or creative ideas, then crowdsourcing is more effective. Sometimes, when both expertise and diversity are valuable, say in policy planning or innovation strategy, combining the two gives the best outcome. And finally, when straightforward statics data is available, neither method is necessary. So, overall, this framework helps managers match the right tool to the right type of forecasting challenge. Moving on to the next slide. This slide talks about the situation where managers should neither use Delphi nor crowdsourcing. If a problem can be solved through simple stats or forecasting tools like regression or time series analysis, then there is no need to invest time in these qualitative methods. Both Delphi and crowdsourcing are valuable only when the data is available or uncertain. So, if reliable data already exists, they don't add much value. Another reason to avoid them is when the cost and effort outweigh the benefits. For example, when the question is small or straightforward, in such cases, managers can directly use analytical tools for faster and more objective decisions. Lastly, both techniques involve sharing information with external participants. If doing so could risk exposing sensitive or strategic details, it's better to avoid them altogether. So, overall, in short, use neither method when data clarity, simplicity, or confidentiality make traditional forecasting methods more practical and safer.
When to use Delphi alone? Delphi should be used when the problem is complex and requires deep expertise. For example, estimating future defense threats, technological disruptions, or policy impacts. Delphi works best when expert knowledge is essential, time permits several iterative rounds, and confidentiality is important. However, it is also very time consuming. Gathering all the experts, conducting rounds, synthesizing feedbacks takes considerable effort. But the benefit is robust and credible expert consensus often used for high stake decision making. When to use crowdsourcing alone? Crowdsourcing works best when the question is simple, clear, and widely understandable, where public participation can add value. For instance, naming a new product, or understanding customer sentiments, or generating creative ideas. It is fast, flexible, and leverages the diversity of perspective. However, because the crowd can be anonymous and unfiltered, it can sometimes produce biased and inconsistent or even humorous outcomes, like the famous Boti Megbot face case, where the public overwhelmingly vote for a joke named in a serious scientific contest. So, while crowdsourcing is powerful, it must be designed carefully to maintain its credibility. The most innovative approach is to combine both Delphi and crowdsourcing. This hybrid model brings together the depth of expert insight and breadth of public wisdom. It's ideal for policy making, public research, or urban planning, where expert validation and citizen participation both matters. When both groups are involved, it is also possible to compare differences in perception. For example, how experts view an issue versus how the public perceives it. This gives decision makers more holistic and democratic understanding of the problem. Researchers like Urjo Millela even proposed a formal crowdsourcing Delphi model that integrates these two techniques in the digital platform. I would like to conclude by saying that managers today face increasingly uncertain environments where past data doesn't always predict the future outcomes. In such situation, judgment-based forecasting tools like Delphi and crowdsourcing are very essential. The Delphi technique relies on structured expert consensus. It's reliable, analytical, and the best for complex and technical issues. Whereas crowdsourcing, on the other hand, leverages the collective intelligence of public. It's fast, inclusive, and ideal for idea generation and trend prediction. Increasingly, organizations are exploring hybrid model that merges both approaches. For instance, company like Cultivate Labs and Luminologic uses platform that combines expert panels and crowd participation to make predictions. So, the future of crowd forecasting relies not in choosing between expertise or crowd wisdom, but in intelligently integrating both. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this helped you to see how both Delphi technique and crowdsourcing can be powerful tool for predicting the future and supporting smart business decisions when numbers alone can't tell the story.